Kevin Durant is in quite a spot right now, but what can we really read into that spot? It seems that ever since KD left the Golden State Warriors, he's been in one disaster after another, which is very ironic given that he was adamant about leaving the team that took him to 3 straight NBA Finals and helped him win 2, with he himself getting the Finals MVP twice. But ever since he arrived in Brooklyn, nothing has gone to plan. Whether it be injuries to himself, Kyrie Irving, the James Harden situation, and more, nothing has gone right. And he's made it clear he wants out, or else. But what is on the table right now? KD's ultimatum. In a face-to-face meeting with Brooklyn Nets owner Joe Tsai over the weekend, All-NBA star Kevin Durant reiterated his trade request and informed Tsai that he needs to choose between Durant or the pairing of general manager Sean Marks and coach Steve Nash. Sources with direct knowledge of the meeting told The Athletic. Durant stated he does not have faith in the team's direction, sources said. Durant and Tsai spoke in London, and sources described the discussion as transparent and professional. The meeting took place a year to the day that Durant agreed to a 4-year, $198 million contract extension with the Nets, and barely over a month after his initial trade request on June 30th. He is now entering the first season of that extension. The Nets have direct knowledge of the reasons behind Durant's request, sources said, and understand that the 12-time All-Star will continue to be resolute in his stance. Durant is believed to want a change of scenery heading into his 16th season. Again, a bit of irony, as going to Brooklyn with his friend Kyrie Irving was also meant to be a change of scenery as well as to help cement his legacy without Steph Curry. State of Brooklyn. Across the league, people have wondered whether Durant could miss training camp should no trade develop. After being swept by the Boston Celtics in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, the Nets have been surrounded by uncertainty. In a mid-May news conference, Marks called for the organization to regain its culture. Amid the unknown status of Durant, Kyrie Irving and the Nets were unable to come to terms on a long-term deal. Irving eventually opted into his $36.5 million player option for next season, committing to Brooklyn for 2022-23. This summer, the Nets believe they have improved the roster and have a championship-ready team. The Nets traded for Royce O'Neal, signed TJ Warren, and brought back Patty Mills and Nick Claxton, while awaiting the full returns of 3-time All-Star Ben Simmons and Joe Harris. Brooklyn's front office, led by Marks, has set a high price on the Durant market while constructing a team that gives the organization confidence in its ability to contend should the team bring the roster as is into training camp. The Nets are incredibly high on Simmons returning to play following his recovery from back surgery in May, viewing him as a perfect complement around Durant and Irving. But obviously, only time will tell on that front, especially since Simmons, not unlike Kyrie, has been inconsistent in terms of both his play and his loyalty to the team he's on. His hope for landing spots. When Kevin Durant initially made his trade request, 2 teams were reportedly atop his wish list: the Phoenix Suns and Miami Heat. From the get-go, both teams faced complicated paths to landing the 2014 NBA MVP. The Suns needed to find a way to sign and trade DeAndre Ayton to Brooklyn, which they can no longer do. Miami couldn't send Bam Adebayo to Brooklyn even if they wanted to because league rules prohibit him and Ben Simmons from both playing for the Nets. So, with those 2 teams now on the back burner, Durant has had to broaden his scope a bit to keep his trade hopes alive. One team that has emerged in recent weeks as a possibility is the Boston Celtics. Reports indicate that they have offered a package built around Jaylen Brown. Durant, according to SNY's Ian Begley, now views Boston as a desirable landing spot. Celtics coach Ime Udoka was an assistant coach under Steve Nash in Brooklyn during the 2020-21 season before he landed the Celtics job. Durant played with Celtics star Jason Tatum at the 2021 Olympics. Still, none of this is meant to suggest that a deal is imminent. For now, Brooklyn appears to be asking for a package that includes Brown, Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart, and multiple draft picks. Boston's initial offer was reportedly Brown, Derek White, and a single first-round pick. That is quite a bit of ground for the 2 sides to make up in negotiations. But the Celtics are the only team to have thus far put a young star on the table. That puts them in the driver's seat here. That is especially true if Durant continues to pressure the Nets to make a trade. The 76ers. According to SNY reporter Ian Begley, the Sixers have some legit interest in a Durant trade. and the future Hall of Famer reciprocates that interest. Something worth noting: as of earlier this week, there were high-ranking members of the Sixers who felt strongly about engaging with Brooklyn on a Durant trade. He went on, "It is unknown if Brooklyn and Philadelphia have made any recent progress on a trade. The Sixers would almost certainly have to include Tyrese Maxey in a trade for Durant. Given the dynamics at play, you'd think that Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, and other players/draft picks would be included." Previous reports stated that the Suns were at or near the top of the list of teams Durant would like to be traded to. An off-season trade to Phoenix seems unlikely due to the DeAndre Ayton signing. So, what happens now? Well, it's worth noting that, in addition to Boston, Durant also sees Philadelphia as another desired landing spot, per people familiar with the matter. Depending on the players and picks involved, you could see either the Celtics or Sixers satisfying Brooklyn's wishes in a Durant trade. The 76ers are still trying to work their process into an NBA title, and maybe with a little boost from KD, they can get there. But as recent years have proven, it's not just about star power, it's about chemistry. And when you don't have it, you lose. Toronto Raptors. Here's a team you likely didn't expect to be on this list, right? But if the package works, it works. The package: OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent, Chris Boucher, 3 first-round picks, and 2 swaps. There are some members of the fan base who definitely won't like this, but the Raptors also have a unique history of getting the big player in a trade and going on a run. Yes, certain things will have to break their way, but a run is possible in the Eastern Conference given the sometimes inconsistent place it can be. Plus, KD will have a big chip on his shoulder to work through, and that might work out in the Raptors' favor. Memphis Grizzlies. Here's something to drool over if you're a Grizzlies fan. Ja Morant and KD on one team? Wow. When Ja Morant started the season, the fans basically booed him off the court. Then he exploded into the superstar that turned everyone's heads. Then he got injured, and the team went on a tear without him. Then when they fought the Warriors in the second round of the playoffs, they went to war with them, and only lost because of a lack of experience and composure. KD is a multi-time champ. He knows how to handle things when he has a good team around him. So substitute some of the depth of the roster for an all-time great scorer and leader? Yeah, the Grizzlies are instantly title contenders. The big move. What this all boils down to is the following: who is willing to make the big move? We really don't know, and that's why so many people are talking about this as training camps are about to start in the NBA. KD is one of the best players in the league when he's healthy. There's no denying that. But the question is, can you legitimately get him without blowing up a squad? And even if he does come to your team, can you make it work better than Brooklyn did with their dream team? Only time will tell. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at Kevin Durant and what his status in Brooklyn is currently? Do you think that he'll get his wish and get the chance to be a part of another team that actually has a chance of winning the title? Or will he remain with the Nets but get a new coach as his ultimatum demanded? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.